delicious ravioli goes first?
Let me get- nom, 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 nom.
Okay.
It's kind of fun.
All right. That's fun. I like it.
My kid thought it was really cool. He was just wigging out. How is
He was
this?
like,
This is
holy
magic.
shit, Dad! How?
All
right.
So
Okay, you ready?
I guess kick it off. I mean, like, are you going to start a video version of our podcast different than the audio version?
Dan! Does that answer your question?
Jumping right in. What's up?
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Hot and Hauter podcast. I'm Arti.
And I'm Dan.
Every episode, I give Dan a recipe, and we find out if it's
A success.
or a disaster.
Nevertheless, it's bound to be an adventure. Let's get to cooking.
How are you?
I'm doing well, sir. How are you?
How are you? Good. I'm good. Had a pretty good week. Did you?
Yeah, I had a pretty good week. Well, I mean, it's been kind of crazy. We had some plumbing issues, which I think I need to use that to lead into apology for the listeners. The last episode 9, the audio was a little off at the end there. I know the music kicked in while I was mid discussing what we're doing now about the video part, and so I'm sorry about that. I did send out a revision that should have been fixed and updated. So if you'd heard the original, I'm sorry. If you didn't hear it, then nothing ever happened.
Never heard it. Didn't even know it was a thing.
It doesn't exist. So, but yeah,
Dan?
it was. We had some plumbing issues, so kind of put me under the gun with editing, and that's why it kind of got out a little sloppy there. But we're good now. We're back on track and ready to talk about ravioli this week.
There it is. That's the one.
I have a delicious bowl sitting right here next to me.
Oh, did you just make those?
Yes.
It looks so delicious. Why don't you take a bite?
It doesn't work. Maybe we should change this podcast name to An Idiot with a Green Screen.
An idiot with a green screen.
Yeah.
And food? I don't know.
I thought it was so creative. Idiot with a green screen in a fake kitchen.
There you go. So, should I tell them about where raviolis come from?
You can after I ask you, because it's polite. How was your week?
It was good.
Yeah?
It was very good. It was fantastic.
Okay, now you can tell them.
Okay, now thank you, sir. Thank you. So, raviolis are old, as you would expect. The word ravioli comes from the word that I'm going to butcher. Rivolgere.
Oh, sorry,
Rivolgere.
Ah, nice.
It's okay. I did okay there.
Yeah.
And it means to wrap. So, ravioli is stuff wrapped in dough. So, to wrap makes sense.
Okay.
Origins of ravioli are kind of obscured. There's not one person who made it, but the earliest mention is from the 14th century, and is a manuscript by Francesco di Marco Dettini, merchant of Prato. There's a recipe in his manuscript, and it consists of chopped blanched green herbs, fresh cheese, and beaten egg, and then they simmer the ravioli in broth.
What is blanched?
Blanch is quickly heating something in boiling water.
Oh, so you have how quick?
I mean, blanching is I don't know. I don't think there's a time for blanching per se. It's essentially just a quick cook in really hot water.
Okay, so it's you're not leaving it in there for an extended period of time, like you'd say spaghetti, 9 to 10 minutes.
Yeah, we're talking like a minute or two.
Okay, so it's like a sear, but with boiling water.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Correct. And then aneurysm. Sorry. And then In the 16th century, Rome ravioli is mentioned when oh my god, these names. I can't. Bartolomeo Scappi served them to Papal Concave? They're real names. I don't know. I just look it up and find history. Um, However, they weren't served in tomato sauce or with tomatoes until the 16th century, when tomatoes were introduced to Italy from the New World. So that's ravioli.
Okay, so you said 14th century was the first transcript.
It was the first essentially written down recipe.
Okay, and then we went to the blanching, and then we went to Rome.
Correct.
Okay. So before Italy, what were these? I mean, not in tomato sauce. So what exact was there any additional items with them?
It was in broth. So
Okay,
they would
just the
simmer
broth.
it in broth. Yeah, yeah. So before the 16th century, it was in broth.
Okay. Okay, cool. I mean, I knew they were old, but I didn't know they were that old.
Yeah, yeah, pretty old.
And you said it just means wrapped.
To wrap is
To
what
wrap.
the original word means.
Has there ever been like any mass variety of contents that were wrapped?
I don't know.
Because like when we hear ravioli nowadays, it's pretty understood that cheese is in there.
Yeah. Well, it seems from what I've looked up, cheese is always a thing that's with it. So I guess I would say cheese is ubiquitous with ravioli.
Okay, got it. Okay. All right. And I don't know if you have any information, but having gone through the process of hand making pasta dough and then hand making, pressing it and then making these raviolis by hand. Ravioli. What's the plural of ravioli?
I think ravioli.
Is it just one of those I'm everything and everything?
Yeah. Like,
okay.
was
So
it moose, right? Moose is like that, right?
it's clearly meese. Come on, man.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm an idiot. Let's move on.
No.
I apologize.
I'm the guy with the idiot with the green screen here. But so with ravioli, I know there's such a vast difference in pasta. You got your angel hair, your different noodle types. You've got. Is there a variety in which to wrap is wrapped?
I don't think so. I think a ravioli is a ravioli is a ravioli.
Okay.
It's the same thing.
And shape
mean,
is
they
just
can-
square because it's kind of more conducive to the way that it's made.
I would assume that them being square is just the easiest shape to make, but you
Okay.
can. There are raviolis in different shapes. There's, essentially circles or squares or triangles too. But
Okay.
I don't think that really has anything to do with ravioli as a ravioli. I think they're just whatever. It's a filling wrapped in dough in a shape, and then you boil them and eat them.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for the history, sir.
You're welcome.
So I guess you'd like to hear about my troubles.
No, that's it. Bye, guys.
I wouldn't say they were troubles, but like I said it earlier, I have a mass appreciation for people that make their own pasta. Working with pasta dough is way different than the little experience I have working with like bread dough.
Yes.
And I was able to record several angles. I don't know if you've had a chance to revisit that, and I'm sure whenever this is compiled and put out in post edit, you'll obviously put these in. But you will see in the video how I was pretty calm, cool, and collected, getting my whole workspace situated, everything lined up. My wife even warned me about the egg volcano situation. And I went into it like, yeah, I got this. This is great. I just finally got my kitchen kind of cleaned up and fixed, and the water, the plumbing issue, everything's good. So I was on top of the world until I started mixing in the dough. But we'll get to that. So there's a couple components to it. For such a small little simple square that you devour in a bite or two, there's actually a lot that goes into it, and I was really surprised about that.
Yes.
S- Such a simple dish to eat, but not very simple to make.
No, very labor intensive.
Yes, and now I know why everybody prefers to buy pre-made ravioli off the shelf or out of the
Exactly.
chiller section at your grocery store, because this is intense. All right, so first and foremost, this recipe, is it yours? Did you take one and edit it? Like, how did you come about this one?
This is a recipe I make.
Okay.
It's pretty simple. It's just the ricotta, the lemon, parm,
Mm-hmm.
mix that together, and that's your filling. It's super easy. The filling part is super easy,
Yes.
and it's delicious.
Yeah, it's very lemony. I was really surprised at
Yeah.
how lemony it is.
Yeah.
But it also, that's really good because I think that pairs nicely with the marinara.
Mm-hmm.
And because I had one without the marinara, and it was very sour compared to having the sweetness of the tomato sauce with it.
Yeah, they're supposed to. Yeah, they should play off each other.
Mm-hmm. And so I can see that, how that kind of works together. But yeah, so the three parts, you got the filling, which you said is really easy to put together. It was, just one bowl. I think the most labor intensive part of the filling was grating the cheese, to be honest. And once you mix that, you got an egg in there, you got lemon zest, a little bit of nutmeg, and then salt and pepper, and just mix it up well, and then you're good to go. And the other thing that you borrowed was from another recipe, our chicken parm recipe.
Yes.
You borrowed the marinara sauce, which is by far one of the best marinara sauces. My family loves that. My wife is super excited every time that's made, because not only does it make your house smell amazing, but it tastes so good.
It's a good one.
It is a very good one. So any marinara sauce that you need, or that's check. I think it's episode 2 was our chicken parm.
2. It's number 2 chicken parm.
Yeah,
Go
check that out. That's a really good recipe for any marinara sauce. And it's so good. I can't say enough about it. So those are 2 of the 3, and then the third one is the dough, which yeah. So so anyway, the dough, you got basically flour, a large amount of flour, and then you've got some eggs. And I need to ask you, is the design of the mixing important? Is that really the way it is, or did you just try to make it difficult for me? Because the way that you have it listed is put the flour, kind of make a really shallow volcano, and then put the eggs in the middle of that volcano.
Yeah.
And then you're supposed to whisk it with a fork inside of a powdery bowl, and then slowly is the word here that you use, which I highly disagree with, because when those eggs breach, it's like Vesuvius. I mean, it's just everywhere. And so slowly start dragging the flour into the egg mixture. Nope, I panicked and just
Oh, okay. Whoa.
So what happened was I had a large concentration of egg in the middle of this, and a lot of the outlying flour volcano was not incorporated into the eggs. So I had to work a little harder than I probably initially needed to. And so I had to add a couple little things of water to kind of help keep the dough kind of sticking to itself.
Okay.
Because I had the core that had most of the eggs started to advance along in the kneading process faster than it could incorporate the loose dough.
Yeah.
And what was happening was the mixture wasn't happening right, and I wasn't going to have enough for the filling that I needed.
Okay.
And so I on my wife's recommendation, added some water and just kind of kept things, trying to keep it working together. And you say it takes about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I think I was going for about 15 to 20. And it was one of the most labor intensive things I've ever done in that kitchen. Uh,
Yeah,
I was
pasta's no
sweating.
joke.
I
Yeah, yep.
I was sweating, and I'm so when you're sweating, you're trying not to get sweat in your own food, but I'm laying all 220 pounds of my body weight into this kneading process, and
Mm-hmm.
it was my hands were sore, my forearms were sore, my arms were sore the next day. And I said something. I took a break and I said something in the Discord, and you threw up the Kevin Hart. He gonna learn today, Jeff. And it
Mm-hmm.
was pretty funny after looking back. So I wanted to ask, do you have to knead this by hand, or can you just put this all in a bowl?
You can just put this on a bowl.
You bastard!
But
I
that would
knew
look
it.
very boring,
Yeah,
wouldn't it?
yeah.
Wouldn't that be super boring to watch some guy put stuff in a bowl and push a button? Yeah, that would be boring. And also, that's the way all the grandmas have done it for generations. So you got to make it once the hard way, and then after that, do whatever you want.
No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't have to, Artie.
But yeah, how much more do you appreciate pasta, though?
I don't want to talk about it.
That's right. I win.
So, getting the Vesuvius egg mountain together, I finally got that to where it was smooth enough that I was comfortable with, moving on to the press part.
Yeah.
Now, my wife has had a little experience in this because she got a wild hair a couple years ago and wanted to make her own pasta and ravioli.
Mm-hmm.
And she actually bought a pasta. I think they're called pasta presses, right?
Yeah.
Okay. She bought one of those, and it's just a little, like, you anchor it to the countertop.
Yep.
And it has about 7 different settings, which are just varying degrees of thinness.
Yes.
And then you just press it through. So I did a little research beforehand, and I saw a bunch of pictures of sheets of pasta where people were mass producing ravioli way better quality than I did. And then they have another sheet that they'd lay over it, and then they just had these fancy cutters that would run in between the mounds making the ravioli. We didn't have that. So we just did the single line. Take the egg coating glue. Put the ravioli or put the filling, and then flip it over and do that. So it was a lot. I would say it was much easier than the soup dumplings, because that's the only other similar element of manipulating dough with my hands that I have.
Yeah.
So this was easier than that. And I felt like there was more room for error with regards to making the pockets of ravioli as opposed to the soup dumplings.
Oh yeah. Yeah, totally.
So I had a little bit more fun with that. It wasn't as stressful. And so I made the filling. I put the filling on there and the little glue, and I eventually just took I got the sheets of pasta the strands of the pasta that I was making were getting so long that I was cutting them in half. So what I do is I just take one half, I would butter all that, put the filling on, and then take the other half and lay it over. So I didn't do the fold method. I made it work anyway. But it was kind of fun once I got into it. My son helped me a little bit with the pasta press, and then he had to go to bed, so he didn't really get to help with or he had to go do other things, so he didn't get to do the filling stuff as much.
Yeah.
But that was fun. I had a good time. I felt like there was a lot of wasted pasta though at the end. The trimmings and the parts that wouldn't be big enough to facilitate a pasta filling set. I felt like there was a lot of wasted pasta.
There can be.
Okay.
It just depends on how you trim it.
Okay.
And it being your first time doing this, yeah, there's going to be wasted pasta. It just is what it is, par for the course.
Okay. Well, it's not, in the grand scheme of things, it's not the most lengthy of recipes. There's not a lot of steps, but the dough part, definitely have a much stronger appreciation for people that make their own dough and make their own pasta from hand or scratch, because it is very, very difficult.
Yeah. Most of them, they probably use a machine though.
So the end result was good. Everybody loved it. Wife was super excited. Ravioli is one of her favorite things. In fact, I was doing some searching on the internet and I found a shirt that says, "Just give me ravioli and call me pretty." And I thought that was a great shirt for her.
That's a good shirt. That's a good shirt for. I'll wear that shirt.
So I might give her that for her birthday coming up at the end of the summer. But yeah, she was super excited. The marinara sauce from earlier is always a hit, and all the ravioli was demolished. We had it the next night as well. It was just really good. The lemon, I never had a filling that was that lemony though, and that was kind of a nice touch. But I can see where the filling is where you can get really creative.
Yeah. So if you're not into lemon, you just take it out, and then ricotta and Parmesan is delicious by itself. You can add in some basil in there. Like you can, like you said, you can do whatever you want with these fillings. It's whatever your heart desires. You do.
Well, how was yours?
It was good. So I did the steps. I made the volcano, mixed the eggs into the volcano. Mine did not collapse because I was patient with it. I didn't assault the flour.
You make it sound like I brought on my own demise. I'm not a flour civil engineer. Leave me alone.
So yeah, it mixed together. Once I like that you cheated, but whatever, it's okay.
Whoa. How did I cheat?
Your wife told you to use the water.
Oh, well, no. I thought about that. I seriously thought about that. I asked her, I said, should I throw some water on here?
Yep. Yeah, you should.
Because there was a show earlier we did where you said if there's an issue, just add more water.
Nice. Good.
Right?
That's why yeah. That's why I didn't tell you.
You're such a jerk.
I gotta leave something out. Gotta mix it up a bit. So, as you can see, I'm messing with Dan.
The next recipe's gonna be like all these ingredients is gonna one word for instructions: mix.
That's it. And somehow it's gonna be like a 3-course meal.
Yeah. Sorry. Anyway, go ahead. Keep telling me about yours.
Yeah. So I use the water because whenever you make a dough and if it's too shaggy and won't stick, and that can happen for a number of reasons. The weather where you live, the type of flour you're using, literally the moisture in the air.
Really, so humidity has that profound of an impact on it?
Yeah, it can change how the flour behaves and how well it will hydrate. Because that's what the egg is doing. The egg is supposed to hydrate the flour, which is how you get the dough.
Yes.
So whenever it won't hydrate, you use some water. That's just for any pasta type dough. Whenever you have a shaggy dough that won't come together, no matter how much you knead it, water, and you're good. Water until it starts sticking, and then you just keep going.
Cool.
So did that. Let it rest for 30 minutes. Then I cut mine up into 4. So I made that came out to 4 sheets of pasta, and then each sheet made about 4 to 6 raviolis each. So rolled them out, pressed them out, whatever you want to say. Made the filling, threw it all together. The ricotta, the cheese, the lemon, and then with I have this I don't know what it's supposed to be a frosting thing, and it comes with all these different tips, and one of the tips is just a round little one. So I filled the filling in that, and just like boop boop boop, little dollops of filling all along, and then folded it over after I washed it with the egg.
You're such a jerk, man.
Sealed it off. Made sure all the air was out, because when you do adhere the 2 sheets of pasta, there can be air inside it, so you kind of want to push that out. And then cut them up, boiled them, ate them. They were delicious. It was good.
You're such a jerk.
Why?
Because you use all these different apparati that you could have So I used a spoon and I just dolloped.
Hey, that works too.
Until you dollop too aggressively and the sharp side of the spoon pierces the other side of the pasta.
I feel like you were just angry at the pasta.
I'm not a patient man all the time. But I mean, like, it was sticky, so I was trying to get it off the spoon, then whack.
If it makes you feel better, for the second set, I did use a spoon because I didn't want to refill the thing. But I used 2 spoons.
You used a spoon out of laziness.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, 2 spoons. Come on. 1 spoon. Who uses 1 spoon? But yeah, it turned out great. I mean, it's always you make the pasta and it's not perfect.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter because it's still going to be delicious because you made it. Like that effort going into making food, it just tastes better. The whole like I made it with love thing.
Well, it's you're proud.
Yeah. You're like, this is super good because I made it.
Yeah, I will say all these dishes, it is nice at the end going, all of this came from my effort and a long list of grocery items.
Yep. Yeah.
So, yeah. But no, it was really good. I'll definitely try that again. I'll try to be a little bit more patient with Mount Exuvius.
Yeah. Well, honestly, next time just make it in your mixer. You can. You have the dough attachment?
I do. The hook?
Yeah, just make it in there.
I have your permission to do that now?
Now you may.
It's like a rite of proving or something.
A little bit.
So if you're going through the mixer, are there any things of note with using that route specifically?
Not really. Just pay attention to the dough. You want it to be smooth and soft. So once it gets to that point, turn it off.
Okay. Oh, one thing. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say. So you just want it whenever you're using a machine, you want to make sure you don't overmix. Okay. So you just have to pay more attention. That's it.
Okay. Well, then I did notice this as well. As I had all these sheets of pasta dough waiting to be applied with the filling and then, formed up, I noticed that they were starting to dry out.
Yeah.
And they were getting kind of brittle.
Yeah, that will happen.
Obviously I could move with more haste, but what else could you do to combat that?
A moist towel.
Like wipe it down, cover it?
No. You get a towel and soak with water, drain it, and then lay that over it, and that will help keep the pasta from drying out.
That makes sense.
Or paper towel, or whatever you have. Just you want to put a moist thing over the top.
You want to humidify them.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. I feel like you left that out too. I'm not surprised.
Well, I mean, that's not something I'm going to think about to tell you to do.
Because I'm too slow.
Well, not that. No, it's just not something I would be like, oh, there's some things that I just would do.
Yeah.
And it's not something I think about. I just do it. Which that's my fault.
No. I feel like you need to have like a common sense button where you're just like, come on, Dan.
Yeah. What or whatever. Common sense.
No, that makes perfect sense. And if I wasn't looking back, not thinking of that, I'm kind of kicking myself for it. But no, that makes sense. So it was a good dish. It was a really good dish.
Yeah, and in the end, they boil up nice anyway. So.
Yep. Are they supposed to float all the time, or just when they get done, like the gnocchi, or?
So they can just float whenever. You want to boil them for 2 to 3 minutes. Mm-hmm. That's just your best bet. Just stick to time.
Okay. Well, I'm proud that none of mine burst. I had no breaches.
Nice. Well
in
done.
The boiling water.
That's legitimately fantastic.
Yes.
Good job.
So I did have residual chunks of cheese filling floating in there, but that's just because as I was pushing the air out, a little bit of cheese trail would come out too.
Yeah, that happens. Little ravioli poop.
Yeah, exactly. But no, that was it. Yeah, good dish. Good time. Everybody loved it.
Good. Now, can't wait till next time.
So
what will we do next?
I don't know. I guess is that all we have for the episode?
That's it. It was a pretty straightforward dish.
It was. Okay. Well, our first video one done. I want to run some ideas by you. We'll do this off cast because I don't want to get any listeners' hopes up in the off chance that we don't go down this avenue. But I've got some ideas that I think are going to be kind of cool, and I'll run them by you and see if it's something we can move on into. Because as the summer approaches, at the time of this recording, schools are getting out. A lot of weekly schedules are going to be kind of upended, as I know, like mine is with my kid not going to school. I'm going to have to be more on with him. But I was trying to come up with some ideas maybe to incorporate him into maybe a recipe or two or something like that, and some other ideas. But we may be reaching out to the community for some ideas with regards to dishes as well. And
we will.
And so that's just some ideas.
All right. Well, so since this is video,
I feel so vulnerable on video.
And it's going to be on the tubes of you.
Okay.
Everyone who's watching this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below.
Man, I hear that so much now, to be on part of on the other side of that delivery.
Right?
I don't. Do you feel dirty?
I do feel a little dirty.
Do you really? It's like you're begging. Hey, please subscribe.
Please touch the buttons.
Please, or the ravioli gets it.
Don't do it, Dan. Don't do it. Give him a chance. Give him a chance to hit the buttons.
For sure. So yeah, we would like to move into the video space. That's kind of why we're doing this. And our goal is not to be a money grab, but to be as much content diversity as we can. We want anybody and everybody to be able to consume our content. Pun. To consume our content in whatever avenue is best for them. Some people really do like just audio versions. I'm kind of one of those guys. Some people really do like video, and they like to see faces and humanistic qualities.
Yep, of course.
But we just want to make sure we like what we're doing, and the people that have been listening to us like what we're doing, and we want to just expand to whatever avenues people would enjoy the content the most.
That is all correct, what Dan just said. I 100% agree.
So since I said that, how about you tell them where they can find us outside the tubes of you?
Well, you can find us everywhere you get your podcast, as well as hautandhauter.com. Yes, it's just our cooking site. Calm down, everybody. And that's it. Now we are both audio and video. We are moving on up in the world.
Yeah, hopefully we don't break our stuff.
I mean, no comment on that.
This was a little bit of a feat to try to tackle.
Yeah, it was. All right. As always, thanks for listening, and thanks for watching. Keep cooking.
Do I salute? Like,
who you salute?
I don't know. Like, thanks for listening and watching.
You guys just saw it first here. Dan sign off. Awkward salute.
All right, let's get out of here.
All right. Bye. Bye.